Welcome to round 2 of the 2022 F4 U.S. Championship powered by Honda. We have 23 drivers on the starting grid, gridded based on their fast lap turned in race number 1. Starting alone in row 12 is the 21 of Maite Cáceres, the Uruguayan currently making her home in Miami, Florida for International Motorsport. Outside of row 11, car number 5, Zheng from New York City for J. Howard Driver Development, and the number 1 of Max Parker from Los Gatos, California for Jensen Global Advisors. In row 10, the 09 of Maddie Aust out of Mansfield, Texas for Crosslink Kiwi, and the 7 of Joe Ostholthoff out of Atlanta for J. Howard. Seth Brown will start outside of row 9 in the number 4 car. He's out of San Diego, California for J. Howard. Next to him, the 17 of Tyke Durst out of Cary, North Carolina for NOLA Racing. In row 8, car 2, Oliver Westling out of Emerald Hills, California for Jensen Global Advisors, and the 9 of Carl Bennett from Yorba Linda, California for NOLA Racing. In row 7, car 22, Artie Flores out of León, Mexico for NOLA, and the 55 of Louka Fecury out of São Luís, Brazil. He drives for Crosslink Kiwi. In row number 6, car 53, Alan Isambard from West Palm Beach, Florida for International Motorsports, and the 30 of Lewis Hodgson from Sydney, Australia for Crosslink Kiwi. In row 5, car number 98, Louka St-Jean out of Lorraine, Quebec, Canada for J. Howard Driver Development, and car number 8, David Burketh, who had a brilliant drive in round 1 from dead last to finish in 8th position. Row 4 has Nicholas Rivers from Wheatley Heights, New York in the 24 car for Velocity Racing Development, and the 08 of Alex Berg from Buford, Georgia for Doran Kroll competition. Row 3 has Noah Ping, also from Buford, Georgia for Velocity Racing Development, and the 76 of Gabriel Fonseca from Sao Paulo, Brazil for Crosslink Kiwi. In row 2, the 66 of Ryan Shehan from Horseshoe Bay, Texas for Crosslink Kiwi, and the 45 of Matt Christensen from Orlando, Florida for Velocity Racing Development. On your front row, car number 39, Bryson Morris out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee for Crosslink Kiwi, and your pole sitter, the number 6 of Lochie Hughes out of Gold Coast, Australia for J. Howard Driver Development. The green lights are on, indicating that the field is set. The light sequence will begin momentarily, and we'll get all 23 drivers away on their first lap. 4 lights, now 5. They're out, and we are away. Yesterday's winner, Lochie Hughes, dives to the left and then back to the right as he tries to maintain his position in the run down to turn number 1, 4 wide as they head into the first turn. On lap number 1, Lochie Hughes is going to take the lead, but swinging around the outside is Bryson Morris as they go wheel to wheel through turn number 1. Into turn 2 they come. Morris on the inside now for turn number 3. We'll see if he can make the move to get up into that top spot. Behind him is a lockup there from Gabriel Fonseca. Behind him, the 66 of Ryan Shehan side by side with the 45 of Matt Christensen. Just behind them is Gabriel Fonseca as we ride with Ryan Shehan around the outside of Christensen. Lochie Hughes maintains the advantage as Bryson Morris gives challenge. Behind him is the 45 of Matt Christensen, and we ride with Ryan Shehan in 4th spot. The field begins to stretch out single file as they work their way through turn 7, heading down toward turn 8 and the S's for the first time. Yesterday's winner, Lochie Hughes, showing the way for J. Howard Driver Development. Bryson Morris right behind him for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports. As we ride along with Matt Christensen in 3rd spot, that's Bryson Morris just in front. As they weave their way through the S's, now come down into the braking zone for turn 13. Morris thinks about it going to the inside, but can't quite close the deal through turn 14. Then the 15-16 complex as this double right-hander sweeps them onto the front straightaway to end race lap number 1. Down the stretch they come. Lochie Hughes weaving to the inside, trying to break the draft, maintaining his advantage as they come across the line. 1, 2, and 3. Shehan and Gabriel Fonseca just behind him. Hughes way down to the inside as they make the run down to turn number 1. Trying to go around the outside is Bryson Morris. And there's Matt Christensen trying to make some ground as well. Morris and Christensen side by side as Lochie Hughes takes the advantage. Heading down into turn number 3. Bryson Morris on the inside. Christensen ducks to the inside and takes the position. He's going to try to get all the way to the lead as he's inside of Lochie Hughes. Hughes goes wide and drops a wheel off and drops back. But it looks like Matt Christensen might have the advantage. Coming through turn number 4, Lochie Hughes fighting back as he is side by side with Bryson Morris. But it is the 45 of Christensen with the advantage heading down into turn number 5. Christensen, your new leader. With Bryson Morris in second, Lochie Hughes trying to keep Ryan Shehan behind him in the battle for third. Head down toward the S's for lap number 2. It is still Matt Christensen as your leader. The battle for third is still tight as Gabriel Fonseca and Lochie Hughes go side by side. And here comes Ryan Shehan alongside him as they go side by side down into turn 13. Shehan a little later on the brakes is going to take that position, shifting Gabriel Fonseca back to 5th. Leaders come through 15 and 16, and we understand a full course yellow has been called as we've had a couple cars go off. Alex Berg in the 08 and the 8 of David Burketh have had problems, so the safety car comes out to slow down the field and allow the safety workers to do their job. The safety car pulls into the pit lane. We're ready for the restart as Matt Christensen with Bryson Morris just behind. We ride with our leader as he comes around turn 15. He begins to accelerate onto the front straightaway as the restart is imminent. On the way to complete race lap number 3. And Christensen, your leader. Lochie Hughes goes side by side with Bryson Morris as they battle for second spot, working their way down toward turn number 1. Bryson Morris hangs on to that second spot. Lochie Hughes tries to go around the outside. Ryan Shehan, Gabriel Fonseca just behind them. Hughes looking for a way around as Morris holds the inside line down into turn number 3. They're side by side as they exit turn 3. Bryson Morris still with the advantage. Lochie Hughes ducks to the outside, maybe going to try to go down to the inside. He goes into turn number 4. Lochie Hughes takes over the spot for the moment as Bryson Morris tries to respond. Morris has to settle now for third spot as they clip the apex of turn number 5. At the top end of the racetrack as they clip the apex for turn 6, 7, as our leader comes into the short chute heading into the S's. Lochie Hughes trying to guard that inside line, keeping Bryson Morris behind him. Got some side-by-side racing just behind. We ride with Gabriel Fonseca. That's Ryan Shehan just in front of him. Battle between Hughes and Morris just in front of them as they hit the last bend of the S's. Here comes Fonseca down inside Ryan Shehan. And then down inside both of them is Noah Bing at the 65 as he stuffs it down to the inside, and Noah Bing is going to take over that spot. Currently running in the 4th position as we can see the two Ganella teammates go side by side. Ride with Ryan Shehan as he chases Gabriel Fonseca just in front. Run down to the line to complete race lap number 4. Big lead for Matt Christensen is just behind him. Lochie Hughes and Bryson Morris continue to battle for second and third. Oh, it looks like forced wide was Bryson Morris, a couple wheels off into the dirt. Lochie Hughes now in that second spot. Coming quickly on the outside of Bryson Morris is the 65 of Noah Ping. Ping having to serve a 5 grid place penalty for a driving infraction in race number 1. Up into 4th spot right now, challenging the 3rd place runner. Just behind him, Gabriel Fonseca. Then there's Ryan Shehan, Nicholas Rivers, and Louka St-Jean just behind those two as the rest of the field streams into turn number 5. Our leader opening up a pretty comfortable advantage to 45 of Matt Christensen for Velocity Racing Development. He's way out in front. In the battle for second, third, and fourth, absolutely nose to tail. Lochie Hughes with the advantage. Bryson Morris just behind him. And then the resurgent Noah Ping right on the back of Lochie Hughes. they come down into that passing zone. Bryson Morris going to stuff it down to the inside and take over second spot. As Morris moves up into that position. And it looks like the 65 of Ping got by Lochie Hughes as well. So Lochie Hughes goes from second to fourth in that sequence there at turn 13. Bryson Morris weaving to try to keep Ping behind him. They work their way down toward turn number 1, working race lap number 6. Morris, Ping, and Lochie Hughes, Shehan, and Fonseca in that order. As we watch this battle for second, with Noah Ping closing down on the back of Bryson Morris. Morris for Crosslink Kiwi, Ping, another of the Velocity Racing Development drivers, as they head toward turn number 4. Meanwhile, Matt Christensen trying to get away up at the front, as he's opened up a pretty comfortable lead over this battle just behind. Gabriel Fonseca and Nicholas Rivers go side by side. Rivers gets the advantage and moves him up into 6th spot, shuffling Fonseca back to 7th. We ride with Gabriel Fonseca as he clicks it through turn number 7. And then in the background, Louka St-Jean and Artie Flores going side by side. St-Jean trying to avoid giving up that position. We ride with Louka St-Jean right now as they get it up on the curb, and he's got a good run on Fonseca now. So St-Jean trying to make a move to get up into 7th position. He dives down to the inside at turn 13. Again, a great passing opportunity, but can't quite close the deal. Fonseca holds on to the position. There's St-Jean. And in the 9, Carl Bennett and Artie Flores. Right behind him is the 53 of Alan Isambard. Ride with Louka St-Jean, Gabriel Fonseca just ahead as they complete race lap number 6. St-Jean, a Quebecois out of Lorraine, Quebec, in his 2nd season racing with us. And down to the inside of St-Jean comes Carl Bennett. Bennett stuffs it down to the inside and takes over that position. Bennett in one of the Ganella racing entries. St-Jean tries to take it back. A lockup just in front of them from Gabriel Fonseca. Look at this schlemazel, as we've got the 22 of Artie Flores getting around the 98 of St-Jean. There's Isambard in the 53. There's Bennett in the 9. Just behind him is the 2 of Oliver Westling for Jensen Global Advisors. St-Jean and Flores now going after him. The battle for 9th and 10th, right at the tail end of the points-paying positions. There is Flores just coming into your picture. And right behind him is St-Jean. In the 9 of Carl Bennett and the 53 of Alan Isambard as they work their way into the S's. Just behind Isambard, the 2 of Oliver Westling. In the foreground, you can see the battle between Ryan Shehan and Nicholas Rivers as they battle it out for 5th position. Down into 13 comes the 22 of Flores. Louka St-Jean right behind him. In an equally close battle between Carl Bennett and Alan Isambard, the Jensen Global Advisors, number 2 of Oliver Westling just behind them. Then Lucas Fecury in the 55 as they come on to the front straightaway to complete race lap number 7. There's Gabriel Fonseca, and then this great battle for 8th, all the way back to 15. As we see the 55 of Fecury pulling to the inside of the 2 of Oliver Westling. Right behind him, the 17 of Tyke Durst, and the 4 of Seth Brown, going after it for the final 2 spots in that long train of cars. We go back to Ryan Shehan with Nicholas Rivers just behind him. In the battle for 5th and 6th. Shehan with the advantage at the moment, but Rivers right there as he tries to retake that position. They approach turn number 5. Shehan bends it in. A little wide at the exit, and into turn 6. As it looks like Rivers may have dropped a wheel there at the exit of turn 6, kicking up a cloud of dust. That should give Shehan just a little bit of breathing room. They head into the S's. We way down toward turn number 13. That great passing opportunity. Last of the S's now into the heavy braking zone in turn 13. Just behind them is this intramural battle between the two NOLA Racing teammates, with the 22 of Artie Flores and the 9 of Carl Bennett going after it. They've swapped that position back and forth a couple times for 9th and 10th. Flores with the advantage at the moment. Just in front of Flores is Louka St-Jean in the 98. Here's your second place runner. It looks like Bryson Morris might be running down our leader, the 45 of Matt Christensen. They ride with the leader down into turn number 3. After building up a pretty comfortable lead, it looks like Bryson Morris might be a bit resurgent here. We'll keep an eye on the interval here. A little deeper in the pack, there's the 55 of Fecury, the Brazilian, coming under a challenge from the 17 of Tyke Durst, and just behind Durst, the number 4 of Seth Brown. Brown going around the outside of Durst, but can't quite close the deal. Durst still holds on to that position. It's for 14th and 15th. Still side by side of those two. Durst hanging on to that spot with Seth Brown from the J. Howard Driver Development Team at the tail end of this long train of cars, 8th through 15th. They bend it through the S's one more time. There's the battle between Nicholas Rivers and Ryan Shehan. And behind the two Ganella teammates, Flores and Bennett. And there goes the 4 inside of Tyke Durst. So Seth Brown moves up into 14th position. Right out to the outside of turn 15. It looks like the tail end tries to get away from him as he brings it onto the front straightaway. Tyke Durst giving chase in the Ganella number 17. The field streams through turn number 1. There, guarding the inside line, is that number 4 of Seth Brown, trying to keep Tyke Durst behind him. Looks like he might be successful, at least for the moment. They're still side by side. This great battle continues. Tyke Durst on the outside, heading down towards turn number 3 with a nose ahead. But Brown with the inside line. Let's see if he can hold it as Durst, he tried to duck down to the inside at turn number 4. Decides to stay line astern as they exit turn 4 and head toward turn 5. Meanwhile, at the front, Matt Christensen coming under increasing pressure from Bryson Morris. Then Noah Ping, Lochie Hughes, then Nicholas Rivers and Gabriel Fonseca with whom we ride as they work their way through the S's one more time. Up ahead, closing down on the 66 of Ryan Shehan as they enter the braking zone for turn 13. Quickly back to turn 14, but Fonseca still with bird's eye view. 15 and 16 bring them back onto the front straightaway. Christensen completes the 10th racing lap. There's the 39 of Bryson Morris, Noah Ping, Lochie Hughes, Ryan Shehan, Nicholas Rivers, and Gabriel Fonseca. They ride with Bryson Morris as he bends it into turn number 1, wide at the exit, and streams down toward turn number 3. You can certainly see Matt Christensen in the distance. That gives him a little extra incentive to try to close that gap. Just from my vantage point, it appears that that gap is shrinking. Christensen's car may be going away from him just a bit. As we see the battle just behind, that's the 2 of Oliver Westling and the 55 of Louka Fecury, just outside the points-paying positions. As Fecury tries to stuff it inside down into turn number 4. Still there, but Westling able to hold him off. As they exit turn 4. Just behind them is the 4 of Seth Brown and the 17 of Tyke Durst. Staying with this battle between Fecury and Westling. They come through turn 7, making their way toward the S's. Westling in that number 2 for Jensen Global Advisors. 55 of Fecury for Crosslink Kiwi. Back to the battle for the lead, which if anything is getting closer and closer, it appears. And our leaders being run down, but still side-by-side racing between the Ganella teammates. As Carl Bennett able to get around Artie Flores. Moves Bennett up 1 spot into 8th position. And just behind him, the 53 of Alan Isambard. The new International Motorsports team making its debut with us here this weekend. They snake their way across the stripe. Keep an eye, it looks like there's Artie Flores popping out to try to retake that position from his teammate, Carl Bennett. And it looks like Flores might have the advantage. Almost still side by side, but I think Flores has gotten it done, taken back that spot. Now Isambard wants a little of that as he goes side by side with Carl Bennett. Down into turn number 3. Isambard is still there. He'll have the inside line as they come up to turn number 4. Bennett trying to hold strong around the outside. Isambard looks like he's still got the advantage. They're still side by side in the run to turn 5. Looks like Bennett maybe with a nose ahead. And he does take that position through turn 5 and 6. Isambard back behind once again. Isambard drops a wheel off at the exit of turn 6. They make it successfully to turn 7 and head toward the S's one more time. As they bend it into turn 8. Just behind them, the battle we've been watching between Westling and Fecury continues. Bennett and Isambard continue their battle as they come down into turn 13. Artie Flores just in front. Isambard looking racy in that International Motorsports machine, but not able to find a way around Carl Bennett at the moment. He's getting a good run out of 16 and should have some momentum coming to the line. Ride with Ryan Shehan as he's trying to close down. Yesterday's winner, the 6 of Lochie Hughes. Hughes with Noah Ping just in front of him. As Hughes goes down to the inside of Ping and takes over that spot. Ryan Shehan there to pick up the pieces as he's going to have a go at Ping as well. As they head into turn 4. So Lochie Hughes up into 3rd spot temporarily. Through turn number 5. Noah Ping still holding on to 4th. Ryan Shehan in the 5th spot. Hughes trying to guard that inside line as they head into the S's. Noah Ping looking for the advantage to take that position back. 9, 10, and 11 come thick and fast as they work their way down toward the critical braking zone at turn 13. Ping thinks about sending it down to the inside, but can't quite do it. While those two are racing, that opens the door for Shehan in the Crosslink Kiwi number 66 to make up a little ground as we are completing race lap number 13. Lochie Hughes and Noah Ping side by side as Ping pulls out. Hughes guarding the inside line in the run down toward turn number 1. Braking duel into the first turn. Looks like Hughes still with the advantage. Still side by side now. As Noah Ping on the inside takes that spot. Lochie Hughes tries the over-under. And here is Ryan Shehan to make it a 3-way battle. Hughes takes it back. Ping on the outside. It looks like Sheehan's going to take them both as he snakes it around the outside of Lochie Hughes. Ping tries to go to the inside of Hughes as they come out of turn number 4. Ping is still there. Shehan with the position. Ping has to give it up and fall in behind. Just behind Louka St-Jean, with whom we ride. Puts the challenge on Gabriel Fonseca. as they bend it through turn number 6. Lochie Hughes and Noah Ping still locked in battle. Ryan Shehan getting around the two of them. Just behind them, this battle between Fonseca and Louka St-Jean. Into turn 12. As they head toward the braking zone at turn 13. Lochie Hughes and Noah Ping continue their battle. Back for 4th and 5th. Just behind them, Gabriel Fonseca and Louka St-Jean. As the battle for the lead in the far distance is getting closer and closer. In fact, it looks like Bryson Morris has caught Matt Christensen. We ride with Bryson Morris as they work their way through turn 2. It's a pretty healthy lead that Christensen had, but Morris has run him down. We're in the closing stages of this race, and Morris going to challenge for the win here. As they exit turn 3, head toward turn number 4. Morris thinks about diving down to the inside, not quite close enough. Right on the rear wing of Matt Christensen. As this battle bends it through turn number 5. Christensen out of Orlando, Florida. Bryson Morris out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee. These two Americans, mano a mano here, coming down into turn number 8. Christensen with a big lead that seems to have evaporated. Morris appears to have the faster car in the closing stages here. So we're working race lap 15. Christensen's car, you can see a little tail happy as he's struggling for traction. Coming off of turn 13, Morris right there to pounce. As they come on to the final turn, again, Christensen goes a little wide. Morrison ducks to the inside. Morris with the advantage. And he's going to have the lead by a nose as they come to the line. Bryson Morris, can he hold him? Down to the inside. Christensen off to his left. Braking duel down into the first turn. Morris with the advantage. Christensen tries to do the over-under. Still there all around the outside as they work their way towards turn 3. Bryson Morris appears to have the advantage. Christensen late on the brakes, tries to send it down the outside. But Morris able to maintain the advantage heading toward turn number 4. Christensen with a nose alongside, but not close enough. As they exit turn 4 and head toward turn number 5. We ride with Matt Christensen as he tries to get alongside, but has to back out of it as they bend it into the right-hander. Into turn 6 they go. Morris now with the advantage. It looks like he's pulling away. Christensen took the lead on lap 2 and has led the rest of the way. That lead has evaporated as they now head down into the S's. Along with the second place runner, Matt Christensen, as they continue to work their way through the S's down toward turn 13. Bryson Morris, your new leader in the closing laps here. Through turn 14 and into 15, and it looks like Christensen just doesn't have an answer for the pace of Bryson Morris. We will come to complete race lap 16 with a pretty comfortable lead, several car lengths down. Across the line they come. There's Morris. There is Christensen, and then a big gap back to the third place battle. Right now, held by the 66 of Ryan Shehan, with Noah Ping behind him. Stay with the leader as Bryson Morris continues to stretch his advantage down into turn number 3. Bryson Morris competed in the F4 Championship last year only for a handful of rounds. Took a win and a podium. Ended up finishing 6th in the points championship. Matt Christensen had a single podium finish last year. 2nd place at Road America. As we ride with Christensen as he tries to stay with appears that may be difficult here as the car has gone away from him just a bit. Bryson Morris stretching his advantage now in the closing handful of laps. As we ride with the leader into the S's, see a little blistering on that right front tire. As we head back to the battle for third, 66 of Shehan, the 65 of Noah Ping, and the 6 of round 1 winner Lochie Hughes, battling for the final step on the podium. Shehan with the advantage at the moment, but Ping is right there as they come through turn 16 and head down toward the start-finish line, and the white flag is in the air. One more lap to go. As Bryson Morris stretching his advantage now over Matt Christensen. The battle for third continues to rage behind them as we stay with our leader, exiting turn 2 and heading down toward turn number 3 on the final lap. Matt Christensen pops into the picture, but too far back to make any kind of inroads, barring a mistake. But this battle for third is heating up. There's Noah Ping trying to go around the outside of Ryan Shehan. Shehan guarding the inside line into turn 4, but Ping now side by side. As this battle for the final step on the podium, Ping tries the over-under. We ride with Shehan. As Ping will appear in his right. You can see him checking his mirrors. Ping sends it into turn 5. Shehan goes way wide. Comes back on track, still side by side. As Noah Ping looking to take over the final step on the podium and gives it done for the moment. Meanwhile, Lochie Hughes in the 6 tries to go side by side with Shehan to retake that position. As we stay with this battle through the S's, Noah Ping with the advantage at the moment. Ryan Shehan just behind him in 4th. And Lochie Hughes in 5th spot. Shehan guarding the inside line. Hughes tries to go around the outside at turn 13. Shehan able to hold him off. Noah Ping, from a 6th place starting position, finds himself on the podium as they come through turn 16 for the final time. Meanwhile, fist shake from Bryson Morris as he takes the win. And here comes Noah Ping, Ryan Shehan, and Lochie Hughes across the line. Louka St-Jean just behind them, Gabriel Fonseca. Here comes the 22 of Artie Flores, Isambard. Bennett takes the final points pole position. Just behind Bennett, the 55 of Fecury, the 4 of Seth Brown, the 17 of Tyke Durst, and the 2 of Oliver Westling.
Bryson, how was it?
It was a really good race. Matt was really far ahead, and I didn't think I had him, so I was just kind of chilling in 2nd place. But then I started to notice that I was closing the gap slowly, but eventually I got there. Super happy to take the win.
Nice. Thank you, sir.
Woohoo!